what about this album cover? Should we talk about the album cover?
Yes.
Does that hold any significance? Or here's Johnny Rotten's take on this when an interviewer asked him. So how would you justify, or how would you think of the inspiration of the artwork of your album? And Johnny Rotten goes, "What artwork? It's what was inside that sleeve that mattered." So there, to me, you said it earlier where you're kind of like, maybe it's more the attitude and stuff like that. I do think that they're truly authentic to the punk attitude. I think they are the most authentic punk artists that I have seen.
Yep.
And I've only studied them for the last week that we've been talking about this. That emblemizes it too, though, because he knows, especially there's a line in one of the songs later on that I'll bring out, but he talks about it's what you put out, and whatever medium you use, we're going to do it. And so they just use music, just as you mentioned earlier. So, what do you think of the album cover?
I think it fucking sucks.
Yeah.
But it's perfect because of that. I mean, that pink and the green are just atrocious together. The mismatching fonts, nothing matches. It looks like now like someone's attempt at making a bad cover album or cover art. That's what it sucks, but it's exactly what it's supposed to be. So I think therefore it's a good cover. Would I ever use this myself? Absolutely not. But I think for the attitude and what they were doing and that quote that you just said, that makes sense now of like, it's not what's on the front, it's what's in there. And that's exactly what this album is. Like if they came out with a polished, sleek looking photo of all the band members on the cover or something, it just wouldn't be what the music is. It wouldn't be the same. So it sucks, but it's good.
Yeah. It kind of reminded me of when John and Yoko came out with their Two Virgins album, and they were naked on the front, and it comes with this paper bag. The albums used to come out in a paper bag to hide the nudity and stuff. This is kind of like everybody just saying, okay, we're the Sex Pistols, fine, we'll just put a paper bag over it and send a record in it. That's what it feels like.
Yep.
I actually like the font actually of the Sex Pistols, the wording Sex Pistols.
Yeah.
Just because to me that feels like it's kind of like a spray paint thing, but it's literally just like a torn page almost that reveals open the Sex Pistols. So it's not a bad cover, but it's definitely nothing to write home about.
Font,
you could have,
That font actually has become quite significant. So it's called Midnight, I believe, is the name of the font. And that font, specifically where it spells out Sex Pistols, has become iconic in rock and roll. In a lot of rock music, you see that font used to promote rock and roll or to promote clubs, or a lot of people are using that now. We even use some of that on some of our early social media posts because I thought it looked cool, and I was like, oh, this is like a rock and roll font. But I didn't realize until I saw this album cover, I was like, oh, this is where it comes from. Now it makes sense. Oh,
totally. And when you kind of look at it, it almost does feel like it is that Miley Cyrus album like we had earlier. Almost like it's trying to really tie into that. But I think I'm just looking at the pink, actually, just kind of looking at that. And so pink really was a pretty strong color too, where I really do like this little bit of a show here. But it's, you could definitely do better. But for the attitude of the band, it actually fits perfectly. And did you know that there was a lawsuit? So this is why I really love Johnny Rotten. And the attitude of the Sex Pistols actually is there was a lawsuit concerning the name of the title. And it's over the word Bollocks. Apparently that was because they were trying to do whatever they could to censor this album because of the God Save the Queen aspect.
Yep.
And the punk scene in general. They try to use anything. So the word Bollocks, and it's like, Johnny's like, it's English. It's an English word. And here's his quote about banning, about the use of language and trying to ban them is, how can you ban language, words? How are words offensive? And why should I have to tolerate your interpretation? I'm the one using the word. Ask me how I'm using it. Don't tell me. And if you don't like the way I'm using it, so what? It's my right. It's my freedom of expression. Without that, we're nothing but slaves. My language, so fuck off.